Hello and welcome to our first review of the new Game of Thrones their series, the House of the Dragon, Part 1, The Heir of the Dragon.
Yeah, so that's what it's about, I guess. It's about several heirs and several miscarriages and everything. So we enter House Targaryen, House of the Dragon, and it's a wonderful thing to see it all again and be reminded of the legendary Game of Thrones. And here we have a prequel, one of them.
And I'm not sure if I said this, but this is going to be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen it, watch it first. And it is worth watching. So
yes,
let's
it
go
is.
right into it. I'm not sure I said this.
Didn't.
What do we have? We have lots of new characters. We have lots of interesting scenarios that are just beginning to develop. What do you think?
Yeah, so I'm not sure actually. I'm a bit skeptic. So this Daemon boy, the brother of the king, of King Viserys, or Viserys, reminds me very much of Jaime, and Rhaenyra, the young lady, the king's daughter, reminds me of Arya. So maybe I'm not the only one, I guess. I hope this won't be such a thing as several other series did, like doing the same stuff over again. Nevertheless,
I believe they need to do the same stuff over again to a certain extent because that's what we want. I mean, they established this pretty clearly at the beginning. It's about dragons. It's about naked people. So that basically covers Game of Thrones. It's also about the whole world that we love as Game of Thrones fans. They've shown with beautiful pictures that that's what it's going to be all about, and I think it's a very, very powerful start. Of course, we see Targaryens. I'm not sure the daughter reminded me so much of. I think it's a bit of a mix. I mean, she has this element of being interested to become a warrior. She also seems to be this kind of unusual person. So maybe like a little bit of mixture of the next Daenerys and the next Arya, but probably still her own person. I mean, she does feel interesting, generally speaking. We don't yet know too much about her, but I think, she seems to be somebody who wants something in life, and that's a good start. More so, of course, her uncle, I think. Who definitely
Daemon
wants the throne, and I think he is pretty clearly in terms of archetypes. I mean, if he is not at least part warrior, maybe king, but also mostly warrior. Maybe a mixture of both. I would assume.
Yeah, I also thought a bit about Trickster because we see him lauschen. Eavesdropping in secret to the council and what they are talking about. And I think to come back to Rhaenyra, yes, she's an interesting character, and she is. I liked the one of the introductions when she does not seem to be interested in history, but then knows quite well about some fight or other. So. And she's also present at the council, bringing drinks, and so she seems to be a bit interested in what's going on. Daemon, yes, he is kind of cold-blooded. He sits on the Iron Throne. That's the first when we see him, I guess, which is high treason, of course, to do so. But he and Rhaenyra seem to go on pretty well. So. This also reminded me a bit of Jaime and Tyrion. So they were very fond of each other.
I think they went kind of okay together, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, one of the things that I noticed, he has these strange wounds, and they seem to be coming from sitting on the Iron Throne. And
oh, you're talking about Viserys now?
Not. I'm talking about yes, Viserys, the current king.
Yes.
And his brother is sitting on the Iron Throne, and I don't know what. Did he put some poison there, maybe? I don't know. That's a thought, at least, that came when I saw him sitting on the Iron Throne. So maybe there's a connection here. Why does he have these strange wounds that don't seem to heal when somebody else wants the throne? I don't know.
Yes. Also, we see that he has on his fingers he has some wound because he didn't watch out on the Iron Throne. So.
Yeah.
Maybe this is kind of a hint to poison. Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be like the most comfortable throne and to start with, you know.
It's not. It's definitely not.
Can you have as a king? Can you have like a layer of cushions or something like this, or is that unkingly?
That would be unmanly, I guess.
Okay, maybe, I don't
Speaking
know.
of men on thrones. So we have this Grand Council at Harrenhal quite at the beginning, and we see that a woman on a throne is not something they can imagine. So this brings some pressure on King Viserys here and his wife Aemma, because she has had 5 miscarriages or death babies, and
yeah, I mean, it's all very, very sad story, and I think it was described very well. I think also it was described that he didn't really have a choice. It seems like he did not have a choice, and for a moment it looked like he can choose which one to kill, so to speak, but he can't
which one
really,
to sacrifice. Yes,
there was no real option of saving the queen anyway. So I think he did the right thing, sad as it is. And I think this is, first of all, gives us a feeling for the characters, for their needs. It gives us great emotional investment. But at the same time, I also feel, now, the main conflict is pretty clear. The first main conflict will be for the throne, and it will be between the brother of the current king and the daughter of the current king. It just makes you feel like I don't think the current king is going to make it for much longer, because that's pretty much when the conflict starts. And the brother, Daemon, he took a dragon and went away. Was it his dragon to take? I do not know. How does that work? But certainly that weakens the kingdom if one of the dragons away with a potential enemy.
Not sure, but he also got lots of money for his city guard. So he is military powerful, so to speak, and he shows it. So at the beginning, before the tournament,
is he still powerful? Because I mean, think about it. He is not city guard anymore. He was at the end of the episode taken away. Are they still loyal to him? Is this kind of like the next level of Ned Stark, who is the head of the city guard and has the city guard on his side, and then suddenly doesn't?
Good question.
Are they going to be loyal to him?
I refer to
in
the
theory
beginning.
They should be to the king or not? How does that work? That's at least a question, and we've seen this already. So makes you, of course, wonder. I mean, in the future, so to speak, we've already seen this.
Yeah, so I was referring to the beginning where he made quite a show of himself, and sure, we'll see. So he's seen critically from the council, of course, and but the king seems to support him at the beginning, and then things.
And the king seems to be pretty much a good king. I mean, he does his best. He's struggling with the demands of society to some extent, but I think he does what he can to do well, and I think the criticism, a brother who celebrates the death of his child and wife, or maybe just the child primarily. I think he was right to do that.
Yeah,
And
he made fun of him, calling him the heir of 1 hour and sitting on the throne in the beginning. So the king does not know, but maybe he has been told, because that guy that brought Rhaenyra to him, he saw that.
yeah.
So yeah, you shouldn't do that.
No,
Definitely
that's
not.
like very bad character. So he is basically the evil guy. That's pretty much clear. Maybe he's not the only evil guy, and we don't yet know whether
Yes.
we will hate him as much as Joffrey. But I mean, he's given it a pretty bad start by hacking like every body part you can think of somebody. I mean, come on, I mean, for somebody who aspires to be the next Joffrey or the next what's his name?
I know
Other
what you mean.
asshole.
Yes, what's his name? Right. Anyway,
You know what I mean.
that's 172 years in the future at least. So let's
Yeah,
stay
but
here in the past.
he's giving it a good start, in terms of
Oh
Mad
yeah.
Kings and stuff,
Yeah, and this is what the first king, King Jaehaerys, said, whose by name is the Conciliator. So he had a good reign and ruled well. And he said the only thing that can tear the House of the Dragon down is the House of the Dragon itself. So we see how this unfolds, and it's also the statement that if the gods roll a dice to decide whether or not the next born Targaryen is a madman, a mad person or not. So
we don't know. Yeah,
we see some of it starting probably.
Yeah.
So it's not really normal what
so
they
a lot
do.
of things happened. I would say it's been not a nice episode. I mean, after all, it's Game of Thrones. But
Yes.
a good, promising start. That it will actually feel like Game of Thrones, and there are interesting conflicts developing.
Yes.
What are you looking forward most?
Yeah, how will things unfold? So the council of the king is, of course, interesting. So Otto Hightower sends his daughter Alicent to the mourning king. So maybe he's got plans as to the king's next wife. And who knows how long the king will survive all this. So yeah, I look forward to quite a lot of things. So even the military conflict, the triarchy. Well,
Yeah.
what are you looking for?
I noticed the same thing. I thought, like, okay, is he trying to become the father of the next heir potentially? And is that even a possibility, like a non-Targaryen? What I'm most interested at the moment is, of course, what will Daemon do in his exile, or if you want to call it like this? What kind of alliances will he have? What kind of powers does he have? Is he just wait and bide his time, or does he plan some kind of attack? What kind of other military, this kind of triad thing, what is that about? And how long will the king survive? Because he seems to be dangerously ill. I mean, a wound that doesn't heal is not gonna get better anytime soon. So, and I
Yes.
think that's probably where the conflict will start. The king will not make it. I don't think he makes it for the first season. If this is going to make any sense, because as long as the king is there, the main conflict really doesn't play out unless Daemon just kills him, which still means he's not there. So that's what I expect, and the plans and details, and of course I want to know a lot more about the other characters. Some of them are promising.
Yes, Rhaenyra is named heir, so yeah, who knows what happens?
Looking forward to it. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious in the comments, what are your thoughts? What are you most interested? What did we miss? What would you like us to discuss more into detail? And what are the interesting characters that maybe after a couple of episodes we will make our first characterization. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, thumbs up, hit the bell, and stay tuned for the next time. Thank you for being here.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.